Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with, yes, you guessed it, Chad PS4. And Chat PS4 is rendering Bloodborne even better. It's making improvements here, and it's made an improvement since yesterday. So Bloodborne is rendering in-game and rendering correctly, or at least mostly correctly. The last time we looked at this game, it had a massive red tint over it, and now that red tint is gone and things are looking better. Now, obviously, things are not perfect here, but at the same time, in 2024, I was not expecting PS4 emulation to be in the state that it's currently in. It is exceeding my expectations in leaps and bounds, and not to get too excited about this, but overall, everything here is super impressive. Next up, we're talking about Myth Wukong. Now, we've talked about this game in yesterday's video, and I think even the day before, in terms of some very weird criteria for reviewers. Well, it turned out that criteria for reviewers may not have been real. But then it turns out that criteria may not have been for reviewers, but instead for content creators. And Paul Tassi here, who published this stuff in Forbes, confirms that yes, it is true. So we've got stuff published in Forbes and Medium about content creators receiving these guidelines for Myth Wukong, which means that reviewers didn't get them, but content creators did. Honestly, for Myth Wukong, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, the game is continually shrouded in controversy, and I don't know the reason why they would even need to publish this stuff to send it to content creators, but here we are. Now, I'm just speculating here, and I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that reviewers didn't get this because reviewers wouldn't normally talk about this stuff, whereas content creators are a little bit more open and free format in what they can produce. And this was obviously met with a bunch of backlash and people wondering why they even needed to do this in the first place. Now, in spite of all of its controversy, I'm assuming that Myth Wukong is probably going to do fairly well in sales. Again, I could be wrong, and we'll check back soon anyways on this one because it does release today. And taking a look at this as well, just a heads up, it does contain de novo. But you know what doesn't have de novo? Sega PS1 rhythm game Moni Shakatto Tambourine. And this game has just been translated to English. So Moni Shakatto Tambourine was released back in 2002 for the PS1. I think it's got 17 tracks on it. And if you are curious about it, all of the information can be found over on Hilltop's YouTube page. Next up, this one is huge if you're a fan of Super Mario and a fan of the Super Nintendo. Infidelity, who is well known for porting games from the NES to the SNES, has just released a brand new beta of something you may find interesting. So it's a beta of Super Mario Bros. Maker for the SNES. I am not joking with you. Now, this game is already up over on archive.org, and it's already looking really, really good. And I'm curious to see what the end game, the end version of this ends up looking like. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I mean, would you be interested in Super Mario Maker for the SNES? Or would you be interested in just playing some Super Mario made levels for the SNES? And on a quick side note, Super Mario Bros. Maker for the SNES kind of overshadowed Infidelity's previous project, which just released as well, and that's Super Mario Bros. For the NES. That was ported to the SNES, and I'll drop a link to this tweet in the description below. It's up on archive.org. And speaking about game development, next up we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And if you're interested in the remake trilogy of Final Fantasy VII, you might be interested in this video that Square Enix just posted. It's like a 2-hour-long video. It's a Q&A session. The developers talk about a whole bunch of different things. And you can learn quite a bit about the development of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Some of the things they talk about are stuff like including feedback from gamers for the first 2 games being implemented for the upcoming 3rd game. And they also talk about how they think this trilogy is going to be very well loved. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get some massive news like the official release date for the 3rd game in the series. I mean, we just got the 2nd game, so it's going to be a while here. But at the same time, it's a pretty interesting watch. Next up, we're talking about CachyOS, and if you're unfamiliar with CachyOS, it's a Linux distribution built on Arch Linux. And they say here it's designed to deliver lightning-fast speeds and stability, ensuring a smooth and enjoyable computing experience every time you use it. Now, CachyOS just got a brand new update, and you might be interested in this one if you're interested in System76's Cosmic desktop environment. CachyOS now officially supports Cosmic. Additionally here, and this is a big one for handheld gamers, the handheld edition now officially supports the Asus ROG Ally X. So if you've got an Ally X and you are curious about testing out a Linux distribution, well, aside from stuff like Chimera OS and Bazite, you now have got CachyOS. Moving on, and we're talking about a game that's been translated from Japanese to English, and that is Telefang. And this is a Game Boy Color game. It's an RPG where you befriend monsters. Now, to be fully transparent with you, I have never played Telefang before, but it seems as if you're a fan of Pokemon, you'll probably be right at home with a game like this. All of the information is contained within their wiki. Next up, I'm not sure if this is going to be a flat-out port, an enhanced edition, a remake, or what, but Bully has been rated for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC in Taiwan, and no, I am not joking with you. Now, I will point out that this could be a big nothing burger and nothing to be excited about, as Rockstar has already announced that Bully is joining the GTA Plus games library on August 20th. And this whole rating system just could be for that. Who knows here? Maybe we'll actually see something that people are very excited about, unless you're really excited about this. Next up, we're talking about Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding 2, and I'm assuming we're going to know a whole lot more about this game during Gamescom this year. Anyways, Hideo has just tweeted out this image here with a caption of "Who am I?" If you know who this character is going to be, let me know in the comments below. I've got no idea here. I mean, if I really had to guess here, I'm assuming it's going to be Pikachu, but I could be wrong. Next up, this announcement took the gaming world by storm. Bethesda announced the next Elder Scrolls game, and that's the Elder Scrolls Castle for Android and iOS, which is a free-to-play game with in-app purchases. They're saying here that this one is going to be the spiritual successor to Fallout Shelter. Now, taking a look at the gameplay on this one, and I am not interested at all in it, like not even close. If you are, let me know your thoughts about this one, but I don't know here. I was expecting for something a little bit better, but that's just my own opinion. So the global release for the Elder Scrolls Castles is going to be on September 10th, and on Google Play right now, it's got a 4.2 star rating and over 100,000 downloads. Now, this game really isn't that new, as it's been announced and been around for a little bit here with beta tests and whatnot, and based on previous reviews, or at least recent reviews, this game is not being favorably reviewed. It looks like the earlier on ones were very good, and the latest ones here are calling it a cash grab. Next up, if you've been dying for some Silent Hill 2 remake footage, VGC has you covered. They've just dropped a 27-minute gameplay video on YouTube titled Silent Hill 2 Remake PS5 4K Gameplay. And based on what I can see in that video, the game is shaping up real nicely. The game is set to release on October 8th on Steam, and based on what I can see on the Steam store page, I don't see it say de novo anywhere. And speaking about gameplay, next up we're talking about the upcoming open-world action-adventure game Crimson Desert. And Crimson Desert has just dropped some brand new gameplay for Gamescom 2024 here. The video isn't very long, but the combat seems very interesting. I mean, if you've seen this video, you let me know your thoughts about the combat in this game, what kind of combat it entails, and what your thoughts are about the whole combat system. This seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, here are some of the comments. So which particle effects should we put in the game? Yes. What kind of battle style you want? Yes. We got some gameplay, can't wait to go full WWE on some goblins. Next up, this could be huge for free and open source gaming. Ribbon here is developing an open source re-implementation of GTA 3 on the Godot engine. Now, based on the YouTube video we see here, it seems like there are still a bunch of things that need to be ironed out. It's not perfect just yet, but it's impressive with what they've accomplished so far. Let me know your thoughts about this one. I mean, would you be interested in a GTA 3 engine that's free and open source? And do you think developers will take advantage of it and make some pretty cool games? And speaking about cool things, last up here we're talking about Sonic Mania, but on the Miyoo A30. Someone has ported the decompilation of this game to the Miyoo A30. This project is 100% free, it's open source, it's on GitHub, and if you're curious, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.